Hey y'all, Phyllis here, southernfrugal.com. We're lunch today, this is really our big meal of the day. We're going to have some Italian bread pizza, and we'll just call it pile 'em high pizza, okay? So what I've done is used one of the loaves from Walmart that's only $1. This is Italian bread. I just cut it in half. And I froze it a little bit before I cut it in half. It makes it a lot easier. Alright, so it's going to be a real simple pizza, but we're going to have a lot on it. So I've already cut it in two using a serrated knife. Won't quite fit exactly on my can here, so I'm going to have to kind of have the ends cocked up just a little bit. And I did put a little bit of olive oil on the tin foil simply because I don't want any of the bread to stick. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is just paint the top of this with a little bit of olive oil. And the reason for that is so the sauce won't sink all down in the bread. Now, if you want it to sink down in the bread, don't use the olive oil and it will sink down in there. So just a little bit on there. Now this is a really easy pizza to make, and it's also inexpensive because the bread only costs $1 at Walmart. And I don't use French bread simply because the Italian bread is not as thick and fatter, so it just makes it better, I think. Alright, so we're just using any kind of really pasta sauce. And I'm just using this because that's what was on sale, plus I like the garlic. So we're just going to pile this on there. Spread it out. And the rest of the jar we will use for another pasta dish of some kind probably tomorrow. Spread that right out to the edges. Look, not over though. Probably take, I don't know, half a jar. And I've got my oven preheating to 400 degrees. Alright, that ought to do it. Alright, now we're just going to start putting on the ingredients. Now what I did earlier is I've got a bell pepper, one from the freezer, and regular just medium onion, and I just saute them in just a teeny bit of olive oil just to get the moisture out of them so they don't make the pizza watery. So we're just going to spread that over it kind of evenly if I can. Yeah, this is a really quick pizza to make. And since the bread's only $1, I mean, I just don't even know if you could make a pizza dough for $1 and then cook it and all that. I don't know. Certainly it's a time saver for sure. Alright, got all that on there. Now I'm going to put the cheese on top of that. I know that's probably not the right way everybody does it. I just like it that way. So I've just got some mozzarella and they add cream cheese to it, make it a little creamier. Bit on there to start with. Yeah, we're going to pile this high up. Alright, I've just put a little bit of the cheese on there for now. And actually, let's put the sliced black olives on there now. And I do open those cans and drain them and then put a little folded paper towel in the bottom to soak up any moisture. And of course we like the black olives. I put them in spaghetti sauce too. Not every time, but some of the time, if I've got them. Alright. Now, I'm going to add a little more cheese. And remember, the onions and the peppers are pretty much done. pretty much. Just keep piling it on. And again, I've lined the pan with aluminum foil because y'all know that cheese gets on the pan, it's forever getting it off. So just better to use aluminum foil right to start with. And you see, you can get a lot more on here simply because this is Italian bread rather than French bread, which would only be about that wide. All right, now, pepperoni. The pepperoni I cook in the little toaster oven for about 15 minutes. I just dump the whole thing right in this little Pyrex dish and cook it for about 15 minutes to cook out some of the oil. Then I just tilt it a little bit, sitting it on the counter. Actually, just put that thing under it and tilt it just the slightest bit, and all that oil will run down to one end. Then I just put a paper towel in there and soak it all up, just so it won't be so greasy. All right, so we're going to put this on now, and we like a lot of pepperoni. And also, sometimes I use the Italian sausage, but I want to save that to make some type of casserole maybe tomorrow. So we're just going to pile on this pepperoni. All right, this is going to take a while, so we'll be back when I get this all spread out. Okay, we got all of the pepperoni on there, and I'm going to use the rest of this cheese right on top. So it's piled up kind of high now. The last thing we're going to put on there are the mushrooms. And I put those on top. Now these are sliced mushrooms, just like one pack of, I don't know, 6 or 8 ounces. I'm not remember which. But anyway, I slice each mushroom into about 4 pieces, so it's about that thick. And they're on top because they're going to dry out in the oven and shrink up, which is exactly what I want them to do. And to me, the mushrooms mellow out the pizza. Just make it mellow. Of course, the cheese makes it mellow too, but all right. Pile 'em high pizza. All right. It's going to go in the oven. It's been preheated to 400 degrees and probably going to cook maybe about 20 minutes. Now remember, there's really not anything in here other than the mushrooms that are not done, and they'll cook pretty quick. Hopefully the bottom crust will be real crispy, and for us, this would really, I'll cut it in 2. That will be our meal, so this would make 4 servings by just cutting it in 2. All right, we'll be back when this is done, and I'm going to fix a salad and get our tea ready. We'll be back. All right, the pizza cooked for exactly 20 minutes at 400 degrees. Let me show you what it looks like. I just took it out of the oven. All right, so what we're going to do is let it cool here just a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to cut it in 2 with my scissors. And we'll have 2 pieces for another meal, which I'm going to freeze, and 2 pieces for today, along with a salad. So we'll show you what that looks like on the plate in just a minute. We'll be back. All right, here's the pizza on the plate. And I might note that the crust is crispy on the bottom, so you can actually pick it up and take a bite. There's the salad, and this is the mixed spring mix. Lettuce and some spinach, apple and cucumber with raspberry dressing. Of course, we've got our iced tea already fixed. There's my plate, and we are ready to dig in. This is, I've simply called this the pile 'em high pizza. See how it went down though, but it's got a lot of stuff in it. You see the layers in there? Yeah, and I really like it because the bottom crust is very crispy. All right, we will see y'all next time. Bye.